All right, everybody, welcome to Spitball Cinema. Today, we have an episode that you can't refuse. It's Mob Movie Day, right, guys?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, when you think about mob movies, obviously the first movie you're going to be thinking about, at least I do, is I think of The Godfather.
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't you say when you say mob movies, the first movie that comes to your mind is The Godfather?
Well,
I can definitely say it's the first mob movie I ever watched.
Well,
it's the quintessential. I mean, it's kind of the epitome of filmmaking mob movies. It goes into the whole family and everything like that. You go back into the 30s, they had plenty of mob movies in the 20s and 30s.
Well, yeah, because you got Bogart, Cagney, Edward G. Robinson. I mean, these guys kind of paved the way for the mob movies of today. I mean, when you think about it.
Oh yeah, well, just like Key Largo.
Well,
because I'm a Bogart guy, so Key Largo, to me that's like classic Hollywood.
John Huston directed that, didn't he?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really good movie too. It's one of those that you don't think about. It's just you gotta hunt. You gotta find out about a movie when it's made back in the 40s. And you got to track it down and find it. They just can't watch it.
One where Edward G. Robinson terrorizes them in that hotel.
And
then they get out on the boat, and he's like after boat, like Bogart's driving the boat, and Edward G. Robinson's like shooting down at him and stuff.
What spoilers? Oh no.
What?
But it's
spoilers.
What's your problem?
But yeah. So. I really haven't seen the old black and white mob movies. I think I saw Scarface. That's the one.
Oh, the original?
The original one?
Yeah.
You know what? I have not seen that. In fact,
I haven't either.
I didn't even realize that it was based off of an old 30s.
Well, the name Scarface, but
yeah.
So Godfather was the first one I watched, and it blew me away. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Not just.
What did you like about it?
Well, I mean, I remember I was told when I was real young, because my neighbor friend, he got to go. His parents took him to every movie, and he was like, he goes, man, this is a part where a guy's horse's head is like in his bed, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then of course I went to my dad, I'm like, can we go see Godfather? And he's like, yeah, you're too young. So I saw it, I think, when we first started, probably around 84, when we got our VCR and rented movies at 7-Eleven and stuff like that.
Well, it came out in 72.
It was a long time, but and then I finally saw Godfather 2.
Well, before we get into Godfather, let's talk some
you.
more about Godfather Part 1. I mean, who was your favorite character in 1?
I would have to, of course Al, but I really liked the Jimmy Caan role. Sonny, yeah, because he was tough. He took care of the family, took care of his brother and sisters if there was a problem.
How about you, Shane? Who was your favorite character?
Well, actually, it's kind of weird because I didn't watch the movies 1, 2, 3. When I actually went to watch them, I had bought the 3-movie set where not De Niro. Good Lord, I'm so sorry. Where it was like the director version where he went back and redid the film so that it was in chronological order.
Right.
So I don't know what was in the first movie and what was
you're kidding.
was put in there. Yeah. So.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was just one of those things where, so for me, it all starts back in Sicily. The first scenes that I see are when they're in Sicily and they're trying to.
So you're seeing from Godfather Part 2.
Right. Yeah.
Actually,
De Niro stuff.
The De Niro stuff.
Right. When they're coming to the United States and
that's
they
wild,
travel over there. Yeah. So for me, that's 1. But at the time it was 5 VHS tapes. It was the first of 5
It was cool
VHS
looking.
tapes.
It came in a big black box.
Well, the thing,
yeah.
The thing about The Godfather is, it's really more about family. It's about this family, and except their job is the mob, But it's actually about these characters, this family, this guy that has these 3 sons. One's weak, Fredo, and one's the tough guy, and then you got Michael, who is kind of the, he doesn't want to be in the family business.
To be the legit.
Right, but actually Michael turns out to be more like his father than any of them when he gets in trouble. When his father is shot, Michael's the one who steps up and saves the family. Sonny's too hot-headed. He can't go negotiate with Salasso, because they won't listen to him.
Yeah.
And so
because everybody knew Michael was the sensible one.
Right, and that's why Salasso wants to meet with Michael, because he knows he can't talk, like he says in the car. He said, "You can't talk business with him. I hope you're not a hothead like your brother." And then what's so crazy about the Godfather is when they were casting for that. They didn't want Al Pacino. The studios didn't want Al Pacino. They wanted somebody like Robert Redford, Jack Nicholson, somebody with the name. But Francis Ford Coppola wanted that look of Sicily. And when you look at Al Pacino, there are blondes that are from Italy and stuff, but he wanted that look, that dark hair, dark eyes look. And Al Pacino, but Al Pacino was a little bit, he wasn't as confident, when he was doing the movie. So, and the studio was going to fire him. They were going to fire Al Pacino as Michael.
Wow.
But what saved it was the Salasso scene in there where he ends up killing Salasso and McCluskey. And when the studio saw, because he changes. If you watch that movie, Al Pacino, he goes from this naive kid to this, this kind of this kind of killer instinct takes over, and he takes these guys out who try to kill his father. And it's this great scene, It's a great behind the scenes stuff. There's so much. Francis Ford Coppola was about to get fired every day. I mean, he was under tremendous pressure while he's trying to film this darn movie, which became a classic. But that's my take on. I'm sorry about.
Did you ever read the book? Because I heard the book is way different.
No, I've got the book here, but I haven't read it.
Because apparently,
but I mean,
a good portion of the book is when he goes over to Italy and he's with that bride,
Apollonia.
She apparently gave him syphilis or something like that.
In the book?
Yeah.
The Apollonia?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. I can't, because she is supposed to be this virtuous, creature.
Apparently she wasn't. I might be wrong, but that's what I heard.
Huh.
Yeah. But they said that because Coppola and Puzo, Coppola said he had to sit down with him and said, we got to make this into a more interesting movie. If you read it,
you had to have her be pure, because she's the one character in the whole darn movie that you just hated to see get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just like this pure angel, almost like an angelic quality about her. I mean, every man's dream was Apollonia, And then
Diane Keaton was no,
out of all the characters, she's my least favorite in The Godfather. Wow. Diane Keaton, and I think she's a good actress, but I never really liked her in The Godfather. I much would have rather seen Apollonia go through the whole damn movie. But Diane.
She represented that upper class New York, Caucasian,
Right. Well, and you're actually seeing the movie kind of through her eyes, through Diane Keaton. If you think about it a little bit, what do you say? I mean, she's this outsider looking into the family. I don't know if you could go to say that, or do you think so? That maybe it's kind of being told through her eyes a little bit.
Well, like I said, because I kind of watched it in a different format.
Oh, right.
it was just another part of the continuing story. So for me, it didn't feel like it revolved around her observations and what she was seeing. But I think just as a storytelling tool, that's a good way to do it, because you want that outside perspective of someone who doesn't understand the inner workings and the nuances. And so when you have that character, then it makes it easy for people who aren't familiar with either Italian culture or that type of family dynamic. You're talking to Joe Schmo out in the middle of the Midwest who's got no concept of this.
You know what I've noticed so far? That you're getting on my nerves with this chronological thing. I didn't know you did. I mean, who watches The Godfather Part 2 first? Nobody. He does.
Well, I mean,
you're just jacked up.
Who watched the director's version of all the movies? That's me. If you cared or you gave a shit, you'd watch it too.
Well, yeah, but I don't know
Purist.
I don't know what's first. I don't know what's
but
first.
It's
I don't know
not
what's
really
second.
part 2. It's just the Robert De Niro
portion that gets
portion.
kinda put in the front.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, in a way, it's kind of fun.
But I this may shock you, but I prefer that way to watch it.
What?
Yeah, you start off in Italy. You start off with a young Vito and Robert De Niro's performance.
So do you prefer to watch The Phantom Menace and go from the first there and go all the way through?
Sometimes.
See, you guys
Why
are all
not?
jacked up.
Well, Star Wars is its own conversation.
Yeah, we'll do that some other time.
But The Godfather was such a huge hit. I mean, it was just from the music. I mean, it started winning Oscars left and right. And then you've got we haven't talked about Marlon Brando. I mean, one of the greatest film actors. I mean, some consider him the greatest. But, he gets up there and he gives a performance and then the studios didn't want him either because he was a troublemaker. Because they were afraid he was going to start his bullshit when they filmed the movie, and they were going to lose all this money that they paid him. So he had to sign a clause, that $1 million clause. If he started any of his crap, he would lose out on $1 million. It was like an insurance thing.
Oh, that's wild.
And he still took it?
Yeah.
What was he getting paid? Like way?
I'm not sure how much.
I'm just going to ask you, how the hell did they get Marlon Brando to do that part?
Well, when Francis Ford Coppola was first talking to him about it, I guess he sent the book, and Brando read the book, and Brando didn't go in for auditions. He didn't do auditions. He was Marlon Brando. Well, Francis Ford Coppola said, "Hey, we want to come up to your house. We just want to do a little film test to see how you're going to look on screen." And he started putting black dye in his hair.
Oh, wow.
And then he started saying, he's shot in the throat in the book, and he started putting the cotton, and he started doing that Marlon Brando thing. And the studio, because they were really hesitant, and when they saw that, this creation, they were like, man, that's incredible. And so that's how he actually got the part. But they still were a little worried about him, that he would start, doing his crap. And so they made him put up this bond. If you start all this stuff, you're going to get, And then he ends up winning the Oscar for Best Actor. And then The Godfather takes on another controversy, because when he wins for Best Actor, he refuses the Oscar because of the treatment of American Indians on cinema. And so this movie from the very beginning just was one thing after another, of controversy. It's a great story, a great cinema history, I think.
Well, and that's the thing too, because like you said, you hadn't read the book,
right?
But the thing is, when you get something, sometimes you'll see a movie, say Jaws, and you're like, "Wow, this is good. Wonder what the book's like." The Godfather is such a perfect movie. It's hard to go and read a book, because sometimes it will
disappoint.
It just changing or characters, or it changes things. But sometimes you get a really solid movie like that, and you got the score and the cinematography and the amazing acting. And so, like you said, when you got somebody like Brando, who's just up there, and you're just like, wow. You can't read the book and not picture Brando.
Right.
Where if you read a book and then you go and you watch the movie later, and you're like, oh, that's not really who I had in my head. That's not what I imagine this character to be. But there is no way that you can pick up The Godfather, read that book, and not put every face from the movie into those characters.
And we haven't even talked about the great Robert Duvall. I mean, who gives a great performance as Tom Hagen. Yeah. And then Talia Shire, which is Francis Ford Coppola's sister.
She was great.
She was good in it as Connie, Yeah,
that part when you're like, how in the heck is this guy going to even think about laying a hand on her?
I know. Yeah.
That's the one thing that always bothered me about that. Probably we should be doing that next round of what did you not like about The Godfather?
Well, that was all a setup, though.
Well, I know that, but I mean...
No, which relates to the story. You know why. Huh?
Well, yeah.
I mean, that wasn't... Him beating her was a plot against Sonny from Barzini. Because he knew if he would beat her, that Sonny would get pissed off and go after him. Her Carlo, her husband, was jealous because they kept him out of the family business. They gave him a living, like they say in the movie, but don't discuss the family business. Well, he was jealous when the Godfather got shot, that he was left out of everything. So Barzini comes in, offers him this deal, hey, do this and this, so they could set up killing Sonny, because Sonny was too powerful,
I know. I just figured that, if you guys take out Sonny, there's going to be somebody from that family that's going to come beat or kill me.
Yeah, but Michael's already over in Italy, in Fredo. I mean, what's Fredo going to do? You know what I mean? That's why
have a good chance.
That's why when Michael comes back, he has this all planned out in his head already what he's going to do. He already knew when he's coming back he was going to kill. He knew Carlo was part of that. This was up. When he comes back, he's a changed person. When he comes back from Italy, he is now the Godfather. I mean, he's heading towards the Godfather. I mean, he's going to be the man now.
I wonder if he was just in a bad mood because he had syphilis.
No, we're not going to use syphilis. Look, Apollonia didn't have syphilis in my eyes,
I'm telling you,
okay?
she had syphilis.
I don't want to hear
Diane
Apollonia.
Keaton was pure.
She's pure. I don't want to hear that.
Actually, what was funny, when I was in Sicily, they actually, I was in Taormina, and, trying to remember the name of the town. Anyway, one of the towns we were in, and they had filmed, The Godfather, and they had filmed different scenes, and the tour guide that we were with, he was kind of pointing all the stuff out, and I was just like, oh, wow, because it's like, I remember that ridge when everyone was, walking over the ridge, and they had the shotguns and different things. I was like, wow, and so as we're going through everything, and when we got done, he's like, so just remember, you'll go back home, you tell everybody, Sicily is a beautiful country, no mafia, no this, no that, He goes, you do this for me, or I kill you. And so he got lots of tips, because he had a great sense of humor. But
or I kill you.
But all those years later, it's still people travel just to see the scenes, just to see the places, just to see the history of the movie itself. So I mean, they sell all that the Coppola wines, and personally, I think they taste like crap. But they sell the hell out of those things to this day.
Oh, I would love to be able to go over and see the town of Corleone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be just great. That's on my bucket list, to go actually be in the town of Corleone where the Godfather came from. I mean, but you're right about the book. I mean, you can't imagine, if I was to pick up that book today, I would be seeing all the actors in the characters.
Yeah, it's one of the few instances where you would be judging the book by the movie instead of vice versa.
Just like you say in Jaws, the book was completely different of how the movie went. You know that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's some scenes that were definitely similar, but it was there was. Yeah, but it was just different.
It was different. Yeah. So, I guess you should read the book. I don't know. Some people get disappointed by that, but. It's history now, so.
All right, so was there any parts about Godfather that you didn't like, or like they should have gone a different route or way, or not have a specific character in the movie, or?
Boy, that's a hard one to kind of pick that thing apart.
I would have killed Kay. I never did like her.
You stop it.
What?
Give her syphilis.
He should have
Syphilis.
killed Kay and went over and got him another babe in Italy. That's what I think. I never did like her. She's too prissy.
One in the old country, one back home.
Yeah, you know. Michael was kind of a different mobster. He didn't have one on the side. He wasn't about that stuff. He was all purely business. Not like Sonny. Sonny was married and he had his...
Yeah, the
what do they call it? Guma? Or is that what they call it? I can't remember how. But, I mean, he had his stuff on the side, you know.
No, but it's I don't know, it's just one of those classic movies. It just is.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you want to branch off from that or if you want to just keep going with Godfather.
You want to talk about Godfather 2 now?
Or just...
Well, we can still keep talking about Godfather. I mean, you know.
Okay.
And you know, Francis Ford Coppola's father did the musical score to the movie.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's the one that he did for that and the Godfather.
Well, it's a family business.
yeah. It actually was. It actually was.
Yeah.
You know.
Did they have like any action figures for the movie or?
Action figures? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Surprised. Someone probably had to at some point in time.
Yeah. I don't think action figures really came into play big time until George Lucas in Star Wars. You know. So I mean, I'm sure there probably is now, but I mean, I don't think that was, you know, you didn't have like the little Vito
Imagine
Corleone.
having like a little Michael and a Kate and like, yo, babe, where's the spaghetti, huh?
You gotta have.
Well, you get the Corleone action figure with the horse head.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And or a little fish wrapped in paper.
Yeah.
You know. You get the
Carlo beating the hell out of Connie.
Yeah.
You got Carlo beating the hell out of Connie and stuff. Yeah. I mean,
Carlo with
some
with kung
shoes.
fu grip.
Yeah. And then Clemenza, killing him in the car and
If they'd have
stuff.
done it like the old G.I. Joe figures, they could have had the little pull strings in the back. And they could have done the different lines from the movie.
I'm making him an offer you can't refuse. You
Yeah.
know?
Fredo, you make me so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. Well, tell you what, we should wrap this one up real quick, and then we'll jump on with 2 and 3, and see if we can't wrap that up.
Yep.
That
All
sounds
right.
cool.
Okay.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us, and catch the next one.
Yeah, and always remember, never go against the family.
Ever.
Ever.
Bye.